Barbra Streisand is a stunning performer. She's also very private and very uncomfortable with publicity. So why would she open up her life to 60 Minutes?
Behind every legendary star, there's a story the world doesn't always see. One filled with grit, heart, and a determination that doesn't quit. And when it comes to Barbra Streisand, that story has always been bigger than the spotlight. Now, at 82, something longtime fans have always believed about her has finally been confirmed by the person who knows her best, her son. His honest, heartfelt words shine a light on the Barbra we've all admired for years. Not just the performer, but the woman behind the fame. So today, we're taking a closer look at the incredible journey of Barbra Streisand. From her humble beginnings to becoming one of Hollywood's most powerful voices, she's shown what it means to break barriers and stay true to yourself. And now, with this personal revelation, we're reminded that her legacy isn't just about talent. It's about the strength, purpose, and passion that have always driven her. A life far from glamorous. Currently, Barbra is 82 years, but her childhood was anything but glamorous. Born to a Jewish family in Brooklyn, New York, she was raised by her mother, Diana, alongside her older brother, Sheldon. However, tragedy struck when Barbra was just a year old. In August 1943, her father, an English teacher, passed away at the young age of 34 due to a cerebral hemorrhage, possibly caused by a head injury he had sustained years earlier. Growing up, Barbra believed that her father had died from working too much, as her mother had told her. This notion haunted her for a long time, instilling a fear that she too could meet the same fate if she overworked herself. However, as she got older, Barbra discovered that her mother had lied to her. In reality, her father, Emanuel Streisand, had suffered from an epileptic seizure, a condition that was misunderstood and stigmatized during that time. Likely, he passed away from complications arising from the morphine administered to control his seizures. Barbra's mother never spoke about her father and eventually stopped mentioning his name altogether. When Barbra inquired about him, her mother explained that she didn't want her to miss her father. Do you think the death of her father affected her later years? Let's find out. Barbra Streisand's life took a drastic turn after the passing of her father. The once prosperous family was suddenly thrust into poverty, forcing her mother, Diana, to make a difficult decision. They moved into her parents' small apartment in Brooklyn, a place that lacked even the basic comforts of a living room or a couch. It was a humble abode, but it was all they had to make ends meet. Growing up in such circumstances, Barbra learned to appreciate the simple things in life. In an interview, she revealed that the absence of couches during her childhood may have fueled her love for them in later years. It was a reminder of the struggles they faced and their determination to rise above their circumstances. But the challenges didn't end there. Barbra didn't even have her room until she turned 16. Sharing a small space with her family, dreaming of a place she could call her own, seemed like an impossible dream at the time. Yet, against all odds, Barbra Streisand defied the limitations of her upbringing. She worked hard, honed her talents, and pursued her dreams relentlessly. And now, she resides in her dream house, a testament to her resilience and unwavering spirit. But fame and success didn't come easy for Barbra. Behind the glitz and glamour, her journey was marred by dark times. The loss of her father not only left a void in her heart, but also took a toll on her mother, who fell into a deep depression. Barbra found herself deprived of a mother's love and affection, yearning for the words, "I love you," that never came. In a household devoid of love, Barbra and her brother Sheldon grew up in a challenging environment. Their mother's only way of expressing love was through providing food, leaving them starved for emotional connection. It was a difficult upbringing, but Barbra's determination to succeed never wavered. Meanwhile, Barbra Streisand had to face an extra hurdle in her journey due to the social stigma surrounding her fatherless status. Even as a young girl of merely 6 years old, her peers recognized her exceptional singing talent and very beautiful soprano voice. However, She was also known as a child who didn't have a father. It was a challenging situation for Barbra, as she displayed clear talent from an early age, yet her mother offered little praise. In an interview with the New York Times magazine, Barbra shared how her mother, Diana, actively discouraged her from pursuing a singing career. According to her mother, Barbra didn't resemble the glamorous movie stars featured in magazines. Instead, Diana suggested that Barbra should become a typist, emphasizing the stability and benefits of such a job. Singing in front of her mother made Barbra uncomfortable, as her critical remarks always left her feeling inadequate and lacking in confidence, despite receiving praise from others. As if the mother's taunting words weren't enough to hurt Barbra, she did something that Barbra would never forget. An unexpected stepfather. Barbra's childhood was already filled with trauma, but it took a turn for the worse when she was sent to a camp at the tender age of 8. The food at the camp was unbearable for her, leading her to consistently throw potatoes to the opposite end of the table. During an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Barbra revealed that one day her mother visited her at the camp, and she pleaded to leave and go back home with her. Packing her belongings, she eagerly got into the car, only to find a stranger sitting beside her. As they drove away from the camp, they arrived at a new apartment that Barbra had never seen before, instead of her grandparents' house. The shocking revelation came when she realized that the man she had met in the car was her new stepfather. Her mother had remarried without informing her, and to make matters worse, she later discovered that her mother was pregnant with her stepsister, Rosalind. This revelation left Barbra feeling deeply hurt and betrayed. During her interview with Oprah Winfrey, she expressed, "I firmly believe that this is why I cannot tolerate being lied to. I can handle any truth. Just please don't deceive me." The arrival of her stepfather in her life did not bring any improvement, but rather worsened it. Regardless of her efforts, he never liked her. She felt an intense hatred for him, possibly because he already had 3 children from his previous marriage. During an interview, she expressed, "I attempted to win his affection for some time. I called him Dad and fetched his slippers at night when he arrived home. I would even crawl on my belly to avoid walking in front of the TV while he watched wrestling. But did he appreciate me? Absolutely not." She longed for the love of a father. The situation deteriorated to the point where her stepfather would constantly compare her to her stepsister, Rosalind, emphasizing that she appeared plain in comparison. To escape the negativity and the dark clouds surrounding her, she turned to music. She would sit on the steps of her neighborhood, finding solace in singing. People began to notice her melodious voice, and as luck would have it, she started receiving invitations to perform at weddings and camps. However, it was only at the age of 13 that her mother allowed her to record a few songs. Was she trying to escape from the toxic behavior of her father through singing? Or is she trying to fill the void in her heart with the attention she got from singing? Life is full of twists and turns. Barbra has always had a strong desire for attention and would do anything to obtain it. She yearned for stardom, and despite her difficult childhood, she always felt compelled to stand and perform in front of others. With a determined mindset to become a star, she started making money and living independently at the age of 16. Streisand took on various low-paying jobs to support herself financially. Without caring about people's opinions, she even worked as an usher at the Luntfontein Theater for The Sound of Music in early 1960. Little did she know that this decision would have a profound impact on her life. During the play's run, she learned that the casting director was holding auditions for additional singers. This was the first time she sang intending to secure a job. Although the director didn't believe she was suitable for the role, he encouraged her to include her singing talent on her resume when searching for other opportunities. Life wasn't always easy for her. At times, she didn't have a permanent address and had to rely on the hospitality of friends or any place where she could set up her portable cot. However, when she found herself in desperate situations, she would return to her mother's apartment for a comforting home-cooked meal. Barbra's unconventional lifestyle as a gypsy didn't sit well with her mother, who urged her to leave the world of show business. However, instead of discouraging her, her mother's words only fueled the fire of her passion. Determined to prove her mother wrong, Barbra was unwavering in her pursuit. With a deep love for singing and a desire to refine her talent, Barbra turned to her boyfriend at the time, Barry Denon, for help. She asked him to record her singing, creating copies that she could distribute to potential employers. Denon even managed to find a skilled guitarist to accompany her. Barbra's voice was so captivating that even the mere playback of her recordings left them in awe. Filled with excitement and conviction, Denon convinced Barbra to participate in a talent contest at the Lion, a renowned gay nightclub in Manhattan's Greenwich Village. Despite the societal norms of that era deeming such a move reckless and inappropriate for women, Barbra agreed. When she took the stage, Barbra delivered 2 mesmerizing performances that left the audience spellbound. Initially, there was a stunned silence, but it was quickly replaced by thunderous applause. Barbra emerged as the winner of the contest. Was it luck, or is it fate smiling on her? What happened next will answer that. Her triumph led to her being invited back to perform at the club, an opportunity she eagerly accepted. For the first time in her life, Barbra found herself in front of a crowd that truly appreciated her talent and adored her. She continued to sing at the club for several weeks. During this time, Barbra realized that she disliked her given name, Barbra. She felt it didn't suit the star she was destined to become. As a result, she decided to change her name to Barbra, removing one A from her name. However, this phase of her life came with its turmoil that birthed something in her. Her journey to stardom. Despite facing numerous challenges in the entertainment industry, her journey was far from smooth. Her nose became a focal point for criticism, attracting negative attention rather than positive. People often told her that she was unattractive and should consider getting a nose job, but she firmly refused to succumb to societal beauty standards. She believed that her nose was an integral part of her Jewish identity and refused to alter it. In an excerpt from People magazine, she explained, "I had already received suggestions from multiple individuals to get a nose job and fix my teeth. I questioned, shouldn't my talent be enough? Besides, a nose job would be painful and expensive." Despite the harsh words and criticism thrown her way, young Barbra Streisand held on to her dreams. She aspired not only to be a singer, but also an actress. With unwavering determination, she hoped to become a star and break free from the limitations of Brooklyn. This resilience allowed her to withstand the inevitable rejections she would encounter along her path to success. Her professional journey commenced in September 1960, when she was invited to audition at the Bonsoir nightclub. She impressed the judges and was offered a contract for $125 per week. This marked her debut as a professional performer, opening for comedian Phyllis Diller. Reflecting on the experience, she mentioned, "I'd never been in a nightclub until I sang in one." Introduced to various female singers by her then-boyfriend, Streisand discovered artists like Billie Holiday, Mabel Mercer, Ethel Waters, and Edith Piaf. This exposure led her to realize that she could pursue acting by first establishing herself as a singer. Among the albums she explored, Streisand found A Sleepin' Bee to resonate with her deeply. Composed by Harold Arlen and with lyrics by Truman Capote for the 1954 musical House of Flowers, the song provided her with a sense of theatricality she sought as an actress. Streisand praised Arlen's ability to craft magnificent melodies that inspired her. Listening to the works of other talented female vocalists influenced Streisand's style, prompting her to embody various emotional personas during her performances. This exploration allowed her singing to evolve and showcase a wider range of expression. Streisand, always wanting to be the best, never stops improving. By engaging with the audience between songs, she honed her stage presence and saw a significant improvement. It was during this time that she realized her Brooklyn-bred style of humor resonated well with the crowd whenever she performed. For the next 6 months, As she continued to appear at the club, her singing voice drew comparisons to renowned artists of the era like Judy Garland, Lena Horne, and Fanny Brice. Furthermore, her ability to effortlessly captivate the audience with her spontaneous humor became more refined and polished. Her talent was so exceptional that theater critic Leonard Harris expressed his admiration, stating, "She's only 20 years old. By the time she reaches 30, she will have revolutionized the music industry." And indeed, she did rewrite history. Her remarkable achievements include 2 Academy Awards, 10 Grammy Awards, including the prestigious Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and the Grammy Legend Award, 5 Emmy Awards, 4 Peabody Awards, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award, and 9 Golden Globes. These numerous accolades serve as a testament to her unwavering determination and indomitable spirit. Barbra defied all odds. Barbra didn't stop at only music. She ventured into something else that would showcase her versatility as a person. Acting, and Barbra rise to fame. Streisand's aspiration to become an actress was evident from the start. She took on her first acting role in the New York stage production of Another Evening with Harry Stunes, a satirical comedy play where she showcased her acting and singing skills. Despite receiving negative reviews and closing after just 1 day, Streisand remained determined. Her perseverance paid off when Martin Ehrlichman, impressed by her performance in one of her shows, approached her to become her personal manager. With Ehrlichman's guidance, she achieved success in Detroit and St. Louis before landing a gig at the prestigious Blue Angel nightclub in Manhattan from 1961 to 1962. Barbra's talent caught the eye of theater director Arthur Lawrence during her time at the Blue Angel. Lawrence invited her to audition for the musical comedy I Can Get It For You Wholesale, where she secured the role of a secretary opposite actor Elliot Gould. In a conversation with Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, Streisand praised Ehrlichman's management skills, highlighting his continued involvement in her career even after 5 decades. They unexpectedly and spontaneously fell in love while unprepared and swept away by the moment during their rehearsals. Eventually, they decided to move in together and later tied the knot, residing in a cozy little apartment. The highly anticipated show premiered on March 22, 1962, at the renowned Schubert Theater and garnered rave reviews from critics. Undoubtedly, her performance stole the spotlight, making it a must-watch for all. During her appearance on The Tonight Show, Groucho Marx, the host, remarked that achieving success on Broadway at the tender age of 20 was truly remarkable. Streisand's exceptional talent earned her a Tony Award nomination and the prestigious New York Drama Critics Prize for Best Supporting Actress. Furthermore, the show was professionally recorded and transformed into a captivating album. Barbra, at the age of 25, had already won an Oscar for her outstanding performances in films. She continued to grace the screens and maintained her fame by taking on cameo roles in television series. Barbra had the honor of working alongside iconic models whom she admired, which felt like a new level of achievement for her. She has shared the screen with acting legends such as Omar Sharif, Yves Montand, Sidney Poitier, Dustin Hoffman, and Robert De Niro. Right at the height of Barbra's career and popularity, she started experiencing a series of unfortunate events. Marriage and divorce. At a certain point, the stability of her union with Gould began to falter. Initially, Gould developed resentment towards Streisand due to her rapid rise in success compared to him. Additionally, he struggled with a gambling addiction, often resorting to betting or selling their belongings to sustain it. Despite the challenges they faced, she decided to embrace motherhood. In 1966, Streisand welcomed their son, Jason Gould, into the world, whom she deeply adored and continues to do so to this day. Instead of hiring a babysitter, Streisand frequently brought Jason along to rehearsals and film shoots, cherishing his presence while she worked and ensuring he received a mother's love. Eventually, their fairy tale marriage crumbled. Towards the end of their relationship, Gould heavily indulged in cannabis and potentially other drugs. Streisand, who claims to abstain from drugs herself, having only tried cannabis once without enjoyment, felt uneasy about Gould's drug use, particularly when it occurred in the presence of their son. In 1969, Streisand and Gould publicly announced their separation, which was finalized with a divorce in 1971. Following their marriage, Streisand expressed that she had married prematurely, attributing it to the downfall of their relationship. On the other hand, Gould asserted that Streisand was self-centered, prioritizing her career over their bond. However, he also acknowledged that their marriage was remarkable during its existence and took pride in their joint accomplishments, including raising their son Jason. Furthermore, Gould revealed that their shared love for Jason has allowed him and Streisand to maintain a close relationship even after their divorce. In 1969, she became romantically involved with an actor and singer named Anthony Newley, shortly after announcing her separation from Gould. She described Newley as charming and passionate. Unfortunately, their relationship ended after Newley did something that deeply upset Streisand, although she did not disclose what it was. Over 20 years later, Newley sent her a recording of a song he had composed. In the song, he expressed regret for losing her and took responsibility for their breakup. This was the last communication between the two before Newley passed away in 1999. Streisand's journey to finding true love was not easy, especially as a celebrity. However, she once again demonstrated that anything is possible. In 1996, Streisand met James Brolin at a dinner party thrown by a mutual friend. Brolin had a unique hairstyle that day, prompting Streisand to jokingly inquire about who had styled his hair. Rather than being offended, Brolin, a fellow actor, appreciated Streisand's honest nature. They spent the rest of the evening talking exclusively to each other and continued their conversation late into the night at Streisand's home. Streisand describes her current husband, James Brolin, as attractive, considerate, and very masculine. She admires that Brolin is not intimidated by her success and actively supports her professional endeavors. Instead of holding her back, he encourages her to pursue opportunities and assists her in any way possible. After living together for 2 years, Streisand and Brolin tied the knot in 1998, and they have been happily married ever since. Barbra wasn't just active on the stage, she was also active when it came to politics, and she was never one not to air her views. A life of politics. In the early days of her illustrious career, Barbra Streisand did not show an overwhelming interest in politics. However, this didn't mean she was politically disengaged. Even during her rise to fame, Streisand participated in various causes she believed in. One of her earliest public actions came in the early 1960s, when she supported Women's Strike for Peace, an anti-nuclear advocacy group formed in 1961. This organization was known for protesting the dangers of nuclear weapons and the threat they posed to global safety. Streisand's involvement during 1961 and 1962 showed that while she may not have been vocal yet, her conscience and desire to stand up for causes were already present. By 1968, a major shift had taken place in Streisand's outlook. Her political involvement deepened dramatically, sparked in part by the turbulent social and political climate of the time. That year, she became a passionate supporter of Senator Eugene McCarthy, a Democratic presidential candidate who gained national attention for his staunch opposition to the Vietnam War. Streisand didn't just express support behind the scenes, she became actively involved in his campaign. In July 1968, she participated in a benefit concert held at the Hollywood Bowl. The event, organized by the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, featured other socially conscious artists like Harry Belafonte. The concert aimed to raise money and awareness to help impoverished communities, and Streisand's participation further highlighted her growing dedication to causes beyond the stage and screen. Throughout her career, Barbra Streisand has remained a proud and outspoken supporter of the Democratic Party and its progressive causes. Her political stance didn't go unnoticed. In 1971, she was infamously listed on President Richard Nixon's political enemies list, a document created by the Nixon administration to identify individuals it viewed as threats due to their political influence and dissent. Rather than being intimidated, Streisand continued to speak out. In 1972, she took her activism a step further by supporting George McGovern's presidential run, a campaign that also stood firmly against the Vietnam War. At the invitation of her friend, actor Warren Beatty, Streisand headlined a benefit concert for McGovern, lending not just her voice but her star power to the anti-war cause. Shortly after this memorable performance, Streisand joined forces with liberal activist Stanley Sheinbaum and the American Civil Liberties Union to organize another important fundraising event. This time, the goal was to support the legal defense of Daniel Ellsberg, the man responsible for leaking the Pentagon Papers, a collection of classified documents that exposed government deception regarding the Vietnam War. Held at the luxurious mansion of Phil Jennings Lang, the event featured an intimate, creative performance by Streisand. Accompanied by composer Marvin Hamlisch and other talented musicians, she took song requests via phone calls from attendees, turning the night into a unique, interactive concert experience. Her efforts helped raise $5,000, a substantial amount at the time, and showcased her ability to blend artistry with activism. Barbra's commitment to political and social progress never wavered. In 1984, fueled by her continued desire for change, she joined with Jane Fonda and 10 other leading women in film and television to form the Hollywood Women's Political Committee, HWPC. This group became one of the most influential activist collectives in the entertainment industry. Over the next decade, the committee expanded to include over 300 members, all united in advocating for liberal policies, including women's rights, civil rights, and social justice. The HWPC played a key role in raising funds for progressive candidates and issues, leaving a lasting mark on the political landscape. Barbra didn't stop there. In the lead-up to the 1992 presidential election, she lent her support to then-Governor Bill Clinton. This support was part of a broader movement among Democrats to bring more women into political leadership roles. In 1995, Streisand was invited to speak at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government. In her address, she emphasized the essential role that artists play in civic life and highlighted the importance of supporting public funding for the arts. Her speech underlined a core belief she has long held, that creativity and activism go hand in hand. Over the years, Streisand has also been a powerful voice for LGBTQ+ rights. One notable moment came in 2008, when she publicly opposed California's Proposition 8, a ballot measure that sought to ban same-sex marriage. Her stance on equality and dignity for all people has been consistent throughout her life and career. In January 2017, Streisand participated in the Women's March in Los Angeles, joining thousands of others in advocating for women's rights and equality. She took to the stage to deliver a passionate speech, introduced by Rufus Wright, urging Americans to stand up for compassion, decency, and justice. In a 2018 interview with The Guardian, Streisand opened up about her album Walls, a deeply personal and politically charged project. She didn't hold back in expressing her views about then-President Donald Trump, calling him corrupt and harmful to American democracy. She urged voters to support candidates who valued truth, kindness, and equality, qualities she found in Joe Biden. Streisand openly endorsed Biden, praising his intelligence, empathy, and consistent support for LGBTQ+ rights, which mirrored her own values. Barbra Streisand's legacy goes far beyond her incredible success as a singer, actress, and filmmaker. With a career spanning decades and a long list of awards and accolades, she has proven time and again that celebrity can be used as a force for good. Her fearless advocacy and commitment to justice continue to inspire countless fans, showing that a voice used well, whether in song or in speech, can spark meaningful change. Awards and accolades. Barbra Streisand directed many films, with her most famous being the 1983 musical drama Yentl. She wrote, produced, and acted in this movie. Yentl received a Golden Globe for Best Picture, and Streisand made history by being the first woman to win a Golden Globe for Best Director. This solidified her legacy. In 2015, former U.S. President Barack Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her exceptional talent. Barbra Streisand has been nominated for a Grammy Award 43 times, winning 8. She has also received 2 special non-competitive awards, the 1992 Grammy Legend Award and the 1994 Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Additionally, she has been inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame 4 times. In 2011, she was honored with the Music Cares Person of the Year Award by the Grammy Foundation for her artistic achievements in the music industry. Throughout her career, Streisand has received numerous accolades, including the Israel Freedom Medal in 1968, the Ed the Pied Piper Award by ASF, the Crystal Apple Award of Honor from New York City, and the Achievement in the Arts Award by the Anti-Defamation League in 1978. In 1984, she was recognized with the Women in Film Crystal Award for Outstanding Women in the Entertainment Industry. Streisand has also been awarded the Woman of Courage Award from the National Organization for Women and the award from American Friends of the Hebrew University. In 2000, President Bill Clinton awarded Strand with the National Medal of Arts, the highest honor given for achievements in the arts. She also received the Library of Congress Living Legend Award. Another prestigious award she won was the American Film Institute Life Achievement Award, the highest honor for a film career. Additionally, she was honored with the Gracie Allen Award, the first annual Jewish Image Award in 2001, and the Humanitarian Award for her leadership, vision, and activism in the fight for civil liberties, including religion, race, gender equality, freedom of speech, and all aspects of gay rights from the Human Rights Campaign in 2004. In 2007, she received the Kennedy Center Honors from President George Bush, one of the greatest awards in American history, and the Legion of Honor, the highest decoration in France, from French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Moving forward to 2015, the Daily Telegraph ranked Strand as one of the top 10 female singer-songwriters of all time. A&E Biography magazine listed her as one of their favorite leading actresses of all time, and the BBC featured her on the Voices of the Century list as a gay icon. The Advocate named Barbra Streisand as one of the 25 coolest women and the 9 coolest women appealing to both lesbians and gay men. Out magazine placed her among the 12 greatest female gay icons of all time, and Gay Times recognized her as one of the top gay icons of the past 3 decades. Streisand allocates a significant portion of her wealth towards supporting various causes that align with her values, particularly those related to feminism and environmentalism. One of her most notable philanthropic endeavors was the establishment of the Barbra Streisand Foundation in 1986. This foundation offers grants to a diverse array of organizations and is designed to continue her charitable work even after her passing. A son's revelation, what we always suspected. For decades, fans and industry insiders alike have admired Barbra Streisand not just for her immense talent, but for something deeper, an unshakable inner strength, a quiet resilience, and a deeply personal commitment to her values. People often wondered what truly fueled her drive. Was it ambition, passion, a need to prove herself in a world that didn't always make space for women like her? Now, at 82, those questions have finally been answered, not by Barbra herself, but by someone who's seen her journey up close, her son, Jason Gould. In a recent heartfelt reflection, Jason confirmed what many had long believed. His mother's success wasn't just about talent, it was about survival, about rising from rejection, about staying true to herself when the world tried to reshape her. He spoke openly about how she never chased fame for fame's sake. Instead, her work, whether on stage, behind the camera, or through activism, was always driven by purpose. Jason's words gave fans a rare glimpse into the woman behind the legend, revealing that Barbra's strength wasn't an image. It was real, it was raw, and it shaped everything she's accomplished. This confirmation from her own son touched the hearts of many, not because it was shocking, but because it felt like a truth we've always known, and one that, now, finally, has been beautifully spoken aloud. Barbra Streisand's career is characterized by her tireless determination. Refusing to settle for average, she pushed past every obstacle. She broke through multiple barriers in the entertainment field, demonstrating that women are equally capable of achieving creativity and success as men. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Tap on the link that pops up on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.